Hello. Hello, friends. I am glad to be here. My name is Josue Batista. Most of you know me from my video blog series, What and Why First. And over the last few weeks, I have been doing live events on Thursdays at 11 o'clock Eastern US or USA time. And I'm so glad to be here live. So glad that you are here with me, and we are going to have a very, very interesting topic today. It is about live streaming, and not necessarily from the technical point of view. So if you are expecting to get all the technical details, you're going to be disappointed. But if you are looking for a strategic perspective, from a digital strategy point of view, then this show is for you. So I'm so glad that you are here. And for our international friends, I want to post here real quick in the feed to go to a site that I have with captions, live captions in Spanish, in English, of course, English, Spanish, and Arabic. So if you want to see captions on this live event, I just posted the link, so you can go to that site and see the captions generated in real time. And that is artificial intelligence generated, so it's not 100% accurate, but it is pretty much enough to give you the idea as to what is happening in this event. So glad to be here. So let's get to the our topic for the day. So let's go over that in a moment. So pretty much the whole objective of this event is to bring you an understanding of what is going on with live streaming. Is everybody knows about live streaming. You may not know the term, but it has been used for years, like when you use YouTube, for example, or Netflix, or any of the other video on demand. You're streaming video, and we're going to get an understanding as to what that means from the perspective of just the technical details, what that means, and also how, from a digital perspective, is going to help you. So just to give you an idea as to where we are, I just want to introduce myself to some of you that perhaps it's the first time that you're joining me here in this event. I have been in technology and business for a significant amount of time, especially in the healthcare and payer industry. Most recently, I have been working with this blog that I love, which is What and Why First, since 2008, pretty much talking about leadership, strategy, innovation, and value creation as the drivers for getting digitalization and digital transformation in your organization. And most recently, I co-founded with a couple of very good professional friends that I have the Pittsburgh CDX. So that is a concept that is being evaluated at this point, and I look forward to create a more comprehensive application of digitalization for the future. So let's dive right into our topic. We're going to do an introduction to video streaming. We're going to look into the digital context associated with this strategy. Then how to build a strategy for successful live streaming. I want to give you some tips. Those tips have worked for me over the last couple of years, and most recently for live streaming. It's up to you basically to pick from there what is applicable to you. But I'll share with you what I know and what I understand as the best approach for me. And then I'm going to give you 6 steps to effective live streaming based on the production that I do currently. And finally, what is the next steps? What is going to be next for you in your organization? So let's dive right in. So what is video streaming? So let's start there, right? So here is a challenge. The challenge is that video files are typically large, very large files. For example, a 5 to 7 minute video could be 1.5 to 2.5 gigs in size. So downloading that video to a device, for example, a smartphone, just to watch a few seconds of it, or even to watch it entirely, it is a significant amount of bandwidth and time downloading that entire file in order to see it. So that is the typical download of a video file. So that is what the concept of transcoding comes into place. Transcoding means taking that large file and using technologies like codecs technologies and compression and other technologies to basically break that large file into an organized, smaller segments of that file in a fashion that it is easier for decoding, or meaning understanding what the sequence is, and then stream those to the device. So it will be smaller chunks, and typically there are different formats. So if you are watching the same video, for example, from YouTube on a computer, is that different format, meaning the size and the resolution, as opposed if you are watching the same video on a smartphone, for example. The screen is smaller, so you don't need that much of resolution, and the systems are smart enough to send the appropriate format to depending on the device. So that is the concept associated with streaming, and I want to bring a couple of details here. So it is basically parsing it into small chunks, creating a stream that goes to the destination of the device that is being used to pull that data. And the same principle can be applied to video sources that are live. Like, for example, you have your smartphone with a camera, or a webcam, or more professional equipment that is capturing a video source. Video sources can also be files. Audio files could be a PowerPoint presentation. Right now I am using a PowerPoint presentation here as a source into that stream. And then that also can be transcoded into smaller pieces, into smaller chunks. So that is another context. That is where the live aspect come into play, because you can also take a live stream from data and bring it into a device using transcoding. And of course, you can place a paywall, right? What is called, you can place a wall there in terms of accessibility. So only authorized individuals can watch that stream, can receive that stream. So there is potential for there's a lot of technologies available for you to protect the privacy or the IP, the intellectual property of your videos, by using different technologies. In that way, you can probably have, for example, you can have videos inside your company that is streamed only to your employees, authorized employees. And the same can be said for Netflix as an example. Netflix, you have to pay a subscription in order to receive their stream, right? That is another way of understanding what this wall or paywall function is. So basically, streaming is nothing else but a continuous transmission of audio and video files from a server to a client. And it's continuous because, frankly, it's pretty much breaking that apart, and it's making it easier to be transferred over different types of speeds, depending on the internet connection that someone may have. And I want to bring 2 points here that are important from a strategy perspective. You can apply all these principles to what is called video on demand, which is recorded videos. You can have a library of recorded videos and use this technology to actually stream those videos to a destination using that chunking of the file. And also, of course, you can apply that to live, to live video. So that is pretty much the concept at this point. I hope that this is helpful. I know that I am oversimplifying the entire process. I know from experience that is much more complex from a technical engineering perspective, all those things to happen. But at a very architectural high level, this is pretty much it. So let's move now into the digital context. And before that, let me check. I think we have some friends here joining us. Thank you so much. We have a few friends watching. Thanks for being here, watching the event. So let's go into the digital context. So let me pause a moment there before going into the video streaming digital context. I just want to refresh and level set a few concepts related to digitalization, digitization, and digital transformation. So let's start with the fundamentals. Every organization, you as an individual, as a team, as an organization, has analog assets that are not digital. We're talking about paper, films, photographs, blueprints, tape recordings. All that exists. You can find them still in organizations all over the world, right? So that is what I call analog assets, because they are not digital. They are not in zeros and ones format. They are just, physical. So the whole first step in all of this is called digitization. Digitization basically means taking those analog physical assets and converting them to a digital representation. This is not digital transformation. This is not digitalization. This is simply digitization, making something from analog to digital. Taking a paper, bunch of papers, and scanning them and recognizing the text of that, for example, or storing the image. That is an example. So you take paper, scan it, now you have an image of that paper. You are digitizing that asset, right? Just right there. The next step in the progression is when you go into digitalization. So take that same paper that you scanned, right? Now it's an image. And now you can apply to that image, because now it's in digital format, is available in zeros and ones. You can apply different technologies like artificial intelligence, for example, to read that image and then extract the text, for example, from that image. That is an example of digitalization. Machine learning, right? Now that you have all these images, all those films that you have placed in pictures, and now they're digital, you can use machine learning to recognize people in those images, for example. Or if you have video, to classify the video depending on the setting, depending on the format, etc. So that is a higher level of digital progression. And basically, it's the internet of everything. So nowadays, you must digitize before you become digital and take advantage of all the digital infrastructure and assets and technologies that exist today. And that it pretty much is, video streaming is part of that, because it is part of the digitalization space. So again, just a progression from analog to a digitization, digital representation of that allows you to apply digital technologies and innovation capabilities. And then from there, that in my mind, that is the foundation for the next step, which is digital transformation. In other words, you cannot be digital until you digitize your assets, your capabilities. You cannot go into digital transformation unless you have a digital strategy, a digital operation already in your organization. And just in simple terms, digital transformation is about applying leadership, strategy, innovation, and value creation to enhance or to change your business model. So again, it is a progression, and that is the context that I want to bring live streaming into this, because remember, we went through all those steps to get into video on demand streaming or live streaming. The question still is, how does that fit with your own digital strategy, right? How does that progression can go to the point that it helps you to become a better organization, a better team using live streaming? And that is the next section here. So let's go to that section now. We are going to go to the steps of building that strategy, right? So the first question or the first aspect of this is that the use of live streaming, live video streaming, have been expanded recently, way beyond the traditional company employee, all employee event or the company's team event that for years have been the way to bring to the entire audience, a video stream. That was the traditional way, but now, especially because of the coronavirus pandemic, we have seen live streaming going beyond just the big events or the significant all-employee events at organizations. So each strategy, of course, is going to vary depending on your company. No two companies are going to have the same strategy or the same approach for live streaming. But the thing is, the bottom line is, live streaming is here to stay. And the question is, how do you include that in your strategy, right? So here we go. When should you stream, basically? So you can be, again, the traditional events like conferences or webcasts, product updates or services. You may have products, physical products or services. So you have an update, you have a launch or a live demonstration of your product or service. That is a perfect scenario for live streaming. At the company level, you may want to do inside the company special announcements. You may want to highlight some activities that are taking place inside the company, or some teams or individuals' performance and accomplishments use live streaming. So that is also an opportunity. And then from a customer perspective, from the outside, that could be also a way to interact with your customers directly through live streaming, as a way to provide, for example, customer support, customer service. It could be also training, how to use your products, how to use your services better. Live streaming offers a one-to-one relationship that could be a differentiator in your organization. So from that perspective, I believe that it's important then that the key here is that you create or set a dedicated strategy for video streaming. And that brings the first question, right? What is the goal? What are you trying to accomplish by doing video streaming, right? Are you attempting to gain more leads or generate more leads in your organization, right? Are you defining a better way to communicate with your employees? Are you hoping to boost perhaps social media campaign that is already there? Or even enhance the engagement of customers, partners, and even employees, right? So that is important. First of anything, within that strategy, set a goal. What is your objective? What is the goal, right? In that way, you can measure, and perform activities in order to achieve that goal. The next aspect here is to who are you targeting? Who is your audience? Knowing that ahead of time will help you tailor your approach. So it is hyper relevant to them, to that subset of your customers, your employees, your partners. You want to reach that audience to something that is relevant to them. So a generic message may not be sufficient, but if you want to be very specific on the topic, perhaps that is the approach, right? Who are you targeting? So keep that in mind. Then why should it be a live stream? Someone may say, well, why not to use a recorded video, right? Recorded video have worked well over time. In fact, they are still extremely effective, and they have less complexity than attempting to do what we're doing right now, live streaming. Live streaming has all different kind of quirks. Things happen in the middle. You may have unexpected situations with your live stream platform. So why not to use a recording? Well, I think we need to remember why this medium is the right approach to reach your goal and your target audience. And if you keep that in mind, that will help you buy in, to get the buy-in from all the parties involved. Frankly, there are great opportunities for live streaming, and you don't want to get involved into live streaming just because it is a hot medium. It's something that is hot right now and everybody is jumping into it. I don't think that is the best approach to look into what live streaming could be, or the potential that it can bring to your organization. I think it's better to think about the audience, think about your goals. Live allows you interaction with your audience in real time, for example. How significant is that as opposed to a recorded video, right? How significant or important is for you to have your audience interact, ask questions, participate. You can do polls during the event. All those things make it different from a recorded video. Recorded video is pretty much consuming, right? You're pulling the information. When you have a live event, is a back and forth. Like for example, I just got Parag here. Parag Kandigar, thank you for your question here. He's asking, how about having the speech in various languages using AI and ML? Well, Parag, I just shared with you. So let me send you the link here. You see, this is the interaction that I'm talking about. Parag is asking a question. So I just want to post. Parag, if you are watching, go to this link that I just posted, and you'll see their captions in different languages. Those captions are in English, also Spanish and Arabic. So check that out and take a look. You know, it has captions there. Let me make a note here. And yes, I went through. So that interaction that I'm having right now with a viewer of my live video, you cannot get that through a recording. It's going to be asynchronous, right? So keep that in mind. And let me reply here. Captions in other languages are available at, and let me place the link again here, so our friends can go there and check. You can click on the little caption box in the viewer, and then you can select English, Spanish, or Arabic. Okay, very good. And later we're going to be adding more languages using artificial intelligence and machine learning. That is pretty cool. So going back to our conversation here, how would you promote the event? So what kind of promotion are you going to use to get this event in the hands of people, right? Based on those goals, you want the live stream to achieve and reach that audience you're going after. And the question is, how will you get it to them? Where do they hang out online? You know, what are the audience? Are most of them in LinkedIn? Are most of them in Facebook? So that is going to help you understanding where your audience is going to allow you to do the appropriate registration, the appropriate communication for them to register and attend your event. So again, it goes back to the beginning, right? What is your goal and what is your target audience? If you have those things clear, everything else falls in place. Now, there are a few more questions that we might not have time in this event to go over because we are already close to the mark for this event of the half an hour. But I just want to bring you that there are some aspects unique to live streaming. And I'd like for you to keep these questions. And if you feel that this is important to do a follow-up, we can do that. So how will you keep your audience engaged, right? What can you do to keep them there during that time? How will you extend the life of your live stream, right? That is also a very important aspect of this. How would you ensure that during the time that you are streaming, your audience is not only there, but also participating? And how will you capture leads from your event? Because there is typically a business objective of generating leads. People who are interested in your live stream most likely are interested in your services and products because they see value in it. And then how you measure the live stream success. We don't have enough time to go over those questions, but I encourage you to include those questions into your strategic plan for live streaming, so you have a better understanding as to how live streaming can be of help to you and your organization. Now, at this point, I'd like to bring what the 6 steps to effective live streaming production are for me. Again, this is just me. I'm working with a platform that I created, and I have 6 steps that I use when I work with the with live streaming, and I produce my videos on a weekly basis. So the first step is the concept, right? So every time that there is a live stream, you need to have a concept and design around that concept. What is the theme? Again, what is the goal? What is the audience? What are you trying to bring or communicate to that audience? So that concept design is the first step. So you need to start thinking about that in terms of pre-production. That is the pre-production phase. Then you have to script and perhaps cast your event. Who is going to be the host? Are you going to have guests? How are you going to reach those guests? How are they going to participate? If they're going to be remote, what tools are you going to use to bring those participants? I need to think of all those terms when I am planning my pre-production for my events, my live events. So that keep that in mind as well. And then I have to create a marketing campaign, right? I need to do the branding. I need to do all the art associated with that. Create the registration forms for my friends to join me during the event. And then I need to communicate with them as well as to where is the event and what is going to happen and why it's important for them to attend. Then I have to promote it, right? So that is the promotion that happens typically a few days before the event. I do a lot of promotion so people know where the event is and how to get there. And I continuously remind them and thanks them for participating and for joining me. So that is part of step number 4. By then is pretty much the pre-production aspect. Pre-production in my mind is the 80-20. 80% of the work is doing all the steps, from concept design, scripting and casting, marketing, promotion, all that happen before the event happens, right? So then comes the day of the event, and then it's the production, right? So we are right now in the production phase. I'm streaming. I already did all my steps before. My platform is pretty much streaming right now to LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So all that is happening right now. And then for all of this, you need to have project management in action, right? So you need to apply project management because each production event every week is a mini project, with pre-production, production, and post-production. Because after this, I'll be sending thank you notes to all the people who register for the event and sending them a link to the entire event. So that is the process that I follow. I hope that works for you. And pretty much I hope that this has been quite helpful to you going forward because frankly, it is tough to do video in general, even recorded video. And I figure that for you, the next steps on this is to actually start working now. Start now working on what is going to be your strategy. Start with your goals and your audience. That is going to help you to determine where to reach that audience and what topics are relevant for your audience. And then it's going to allow you also to measure whether you're being effective or not. Then you can apply the 6 principles, the 6 steps that I show you, so to make your event even more relevant. So I hope that it was helpful to you, and I am extremely, extremely thankful that you are here, that you some friends are still online. Thank you so much for being here, and please send questions and details on any of this. I'm more than happy to assist you to answer your questions. Some of you are going to be will be watching this event as a recorded event because it's going to be posted as a video on demand. So you can watch it in different venues, including LinkedIn. So I hope that all of this has been helpful to you. And again, give it a try. There is plenty of tools. There is plenty of opportunities out there to enhance your strategy using live streaming. And I wish you, all of you, happy broadcasting, happy live streaming, or even recorded streaming. If you want to start with that, it's perfectly okay. And as I always say, until next time, cheers. Hi, I am Josue Batista from What and Why First. I created this video blog to share with you my thoughts about relevant trends in leadership, strategy, innovation, and value creation. If you want to watch more videos, make sure you follow my blog so you never miss any of my new videos with more tips about technology and business. And if you are already a senior leader in charge of making decisions in your organization, and you would like to put some of these strategies in place for yourself, go to josuebatista.com and learn how I can help you.